Hi everybody, welcome once again to another Low on Health year-end review, where I go over some of what I've been watching besides gaming in 2010, and this particular one's going to focus on anime, probably my second next kind of main hobby next to gaming, basically gaming being my main hobby and watching anime being my second kind of main thing I do besides eating, sleeping, or working. So with anime, I'm going to jump into what I watched this year, and I did kind of give these a little ranking of how I like them to a point. In which case, my favorite anime series of the year is going to be Angel Beats, which I just loved immensely. I didn't think much of this originally, but I started watching it and immediately just fell in love with the premise, which I won't go over. But it just has some really good characters that you can just kind of relate to, and it's kind of a sad, sappy story when it gets down to it. Once you kind of not necessarily get the twist, but get an idea of what the world's being and whatnot. But it has some just really awesome music too. Like they have a band inside the series and inside the cast, and they just have some really awesome like rock and roll kind of high end songs. In which case, this particular song, my song, is kind of a low beat, kind of sad ballad that tells her tale of how her life led up to her death and whatnot. And it's just a super sad story and a super sad moment. And well, kind of bittersweet. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it, but I just love this song, love that character, and love a lot of the other characters, and just how their interactions and just how their relationships evolved over the time of them being in there. And that just really struck a chord. It also kind of strikes one of those main chords of mine, kind of a main philosophy of just knowing that your existence isn't going to happen anymore, knowing that you're going to be forgotten, or knowing that no matter what you do, it's not going to make a difference. That type of stuff of kind of like falls along with like the Roxas and kind of the Zegapane I've mentioned before, where I just like that, your existence going to cease and nobody's going to remember you, or no matter what you do, it's not going to really matter. I just find that super depressing, and how people cope with that I just find amazing. But anyway, Angel Beats, it has tons of humor, tons of action, and it has a solid story. It really is kind of my anime of the year, just kind of like Zegapane was, just because its overall premise and a philosophy I very much grew attached to. Moving on here, the next series I want to mention was a series I saw at the Tampa Bay Anime meeting I went to, and this is the next series I want to mention. Of course, is Ori no Not even gonna bother because we know I can't pronounce these worth crap. But this is basically my sister can't possibly be as cute. Is going to be Higai J. But you didn't see this one coming. This is one of the first anime series I started watching a super long time ago that I was very much interested in because I like the mechanical design, just overall style of it. In which case, I finally was able to finish watching it. I remember I watched maybe half of it back in the day and just kind of dropped it and didn't get back to it. But recently, during the unemployment, I started rewatching it, and I loved it. I remember why I liked it and what appealed to me in the beginning of it, watching it. It's basically, it's not that high-end, it's not that thought-provoking to a point, but it has just some really good action scenes, and I just like the overall style and world that it takes place in. It's just very kind of cool. And that's really what it comes down to anime. Like, if I'm gonna watch it, it has to be, I have to like enjoy watching it. And this is one of the series I did. A lot of series I'll watch an episode or two and I won't like it. But moving on here, the next one, kind of, if I was marking these, is going to be the whole Certain Magical Index. So I'm gonna talk about the rest real quick. What else I watched this year? After Angel Beats and yada yada yada, we got Bakuman, which once again is a series about guys trying to make it in the manga industry, and kind of I just thought it was really cool because I like anime that deal with the industry, basically the whole anime industry and manga industry, how things are popular, what attracts them, and the production of them, and from the big ground up, and how that happens. And this basically is a tale that follows them trying to make it. And this is done by the guy that did Death Note, in which case I love the character design for this. Then you have Bakumonogatari, or Tari, I'm just going to butcher it. This is, of course, a Shaft production, I believe. Very much a lot of style over substance, but kind of cool. I definitely enjoyed watching it. I watched all of it. Then you have Ganks, which I mentioned. I read that watching the anime series has now made me want to read the manga, and I think there's a second season, but I'm not going to watch it anymore of the Ganks anime. But once again, I liked it because it's kind of graphic. It has nudity in it. It's very visceral. There's blood and guts everywhere, and it's just kind of sad and depressing. I definitely like that. Night Hunters, of course, is an old school classic anime, in which case, for some reason, I decided to watch it. I don't know why. I enjoyed it to a point. I don't know why. It's kind of one of those little guilty pleasures. Fate Stay Night, which apparently was recommended to me by a bunch of people because I should like this type of anime. I did not like it whatsoever. I couldn't really get into any of the characters. I'm not saying I couldn't identify with them, but I didn't care about them. I didn't care about the battles. Everything just seemed kind of rather blasé, and I didn't really dig it. Then you have Trinity Blood, which is of course is a classic, just Blades, Blues, Blood kind of ADV type of series. In which case, meh. Brain Powered, which is another classic old school anime, but this made me realize not all classic anime was good. I definitely did not enjoy Brain Powered that much. And then Book of Banatori Tora as an anime series. I was like, hey, this looks kind of cool. Battle combat librarians, and basically people's memories are stored in books. When they when you die, you turn your own book, and all your memories are in them, and you have a library that protects and stores them. I thought it was a cool premise, but it just seemed to flounder a lot. And I even gave it a couple Grace episodes of, you know what, maybe I'll stick with it for another 2 or 3 episodes, and then it didn't get any better, and I just didn't enjoy it, and I stopped watching it midway. Now, I do want to mention real quick some of the anime movies I watched this year. Of course, I was able finally to watch the Evangelion new OAVs, the 1.11 and 2.22 in high def, in which case I loved them. I love the kind of the retelling of it, kind of a streamlined story, and all the new stuff they're adding with the new Eva pilot. It's just awesome. The fight scenes are just gruesome and just awesome. Like, it's just great. I keep it on my hard drive to watch every now and then because that one fight scene I can't remember off the top of my head is just great, and I'm eagerly anticipating the other ones. Also, want to mention the Black Lagoon OAV. I think just one episode came out this year, but I enjoyed watching the Black Lagoon anime series. I love that little kind of cast of characters with especially Rock, who's just kind of a dude who's just the everyday businessman who's just part of that crew. In which case, OAV was really cool. Had 1 or 2 good action fight sequences, and can't wait for the rest of the episodes to come out. And then, of course, we have Disappearance of Suzumari Haruhi, in which case I watched this just recently, and was just super surprised by it. I was afraid I wasn't going to like it because it was going to focus on Haruhi a lot, but it was nice that it's a disappearance of her, so she's not in most of it. It mostly follows Kyon, in which case, I've mentioned this before, I love that character. I like to identify with that character, and I think it's awesome. But I really enjoyed this movie, even though it's a lot of exposition, a lot of not that much action scenes. I lost my breath when the Nagato, the chick, when you get her alternate version of her in the literature room, when Kyon was leaving and she basically pulled the registration club form out and handed it to him. I almost lost my breath because she was just so cute, and you just felt so sad for her. And then, not to spoil it, but throughout the whole movie, you just kind of feel like maybe he didn't make the right choice. Like, it made me actually think, what kind of character he is and if he actually appreciates stuff or doesn't appreciate it. And it was interesting to see his choice, but I felt so sorry for, like, the real life, Nagato, I'm gonna butcher her name, Nagato. If I do it slowly, it's better. But Nagato character, I just felt so sad for her. Like, every time you see her just be kind of shy and cute, it's just like I never get kind of a gushy or around those type of like little type of characters. That's not my deal. But I just felt so sad for her, and you just wanted to like help her out so much or whatnot. It was just a really good job with the screenplay and the movie itself to make me feel that, and I very much enjoyed it. But that's really kind of about it for the anime I watched this year. Eagerly anticipating to see what's going to happen in anime next year. I do have kind of hoping to see soon the new Trigun movie, which will probably be my next year's thing once that happens. But who never knows? A lot of these series I never thought I would watch before, but I started watching, and you kind of never really know if anime. And of course, I have a huge back catalog of old anime series that I'll probably start watching since I'm kind of putting gaming on the back burner this coming year. So, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.